These are the animals all others fear. The apex predators. The top hunters in their realm. The killers no nearby animal.
One wrong move, and you're not the predator anymore. We like to think humans sit comfortably at the top of the food chain. But across land, sea, and even the microscopic world, some predators can end a life faster than you can react. Some with brute force, others without ever being seen. And when you rank them not by fear, but by actual deaths per year, the results get a lot more unsettling. Ten, orca. The apex predator of the ocean that rarely targets us. The orca sits at the very top of the marine food chain, not because it is the most aggressive toward humans, but because nothing in the ocean can reliably hunt it. It is a true apex predator in every sense of the term. Intelligent, coordinated, powerful, and adaptable. Yet it stands out on this list for a very unusual reason. Despite its size and capability, there are virtually no confirmed cases of wild orcas killing humans. That fact alone makes it one of the most paradoxical entries among the world's deadliest predators. Orcas are often called killer whales, but that name is misleading in the context of human danger. In the wild, they do not behave as indiscriminate attackers. Instead, they operate as highly intelligent social hunters, relying on communication, cooperation, and learned strategies passed through generations. They are not solo hunters. They are team-based strategists. An orca pod functions almost like a coordinated unit, with individuals taking on specific roles during hunts. Some herd prey, others block escape routes, and others execute the final strike. This level of coordination is rare in the animal kingdom and contributes to their success in taking down prey far larger and more dangerous than themselves. Orcas hunt seals, sea lions, dolphins, large fish, and even sharks, including species that are themselves apex predators, such as great whites. In some documented cases, orcas have been observed flipping sharks upside down to induce a state called tonic immobility, temporarily immobilizing them before feeding. This demonstrates not just strength, but cognitive complexity. Their brains are among the most developed in the ocean, with large neural capacity and evidence of advanced social learning. Different orca populations even exhibit distinct hunting cultures, meaning behavior can vary depending on the pod and region. In other words, they don't just hunt, they learn how to hunt. Nine, great white shark. Approximately 5 to 10 deaths per year. The icon of ocean fear, the great white shark has become one of the most recognizable predators on Earth. Not because it kills the most, but because of how it kills. It is a master-built hunter of the ocean, shaped by millions of years of evolution into a streamlined, efficient, and highly capable apex predator. Despite its reputation, the actual number of human fatalities is relatively low, around 5 to 10 deaths per year globally. That figure is small compared to many other animals on this list, but it doesn't fully capture why the great white is so feared, because when an encounter happens, it is rarely subtle. The great white shark operates with a combination of speed, stealth, and explosive power. It is capable of approaching prey from below, using the ocean's depth as cover. This is one of its most effective hunting strategies, remaining unseen until the final moment. Its body is perfectly adapted for this role. A torpedo-like shape reduces drag, allowing sudden bursts of acceleration. Powerful tail strokes generate momentum, while sensory systems detect movement, vibration, and even the faint electrical signals produced by living organisms in water. In many cases, attacks on humans are believed to stem from curiosity or mistaken identity. From below, a surfer or swimmer can resemble marine animals, like seals, the shark's natural prey. The approach is often quick and direct, followed by a single investigative bite, but that bite can be extremely powerful. The jaws of the great white shark are lined with multiple rows of serrated teeth designed for tearing flesh efficiently. When it bites, it doesn't always immediately consume its target. Instead, the initial strike can function as a test, after which the shark may retreat briefly before returning. This behavior contributes to the severity of some incidents because even a single exploratory bite can cause catastrophic injuries. Eight, box jellyfish. Approximately 20 to 40 deaths per year. Nearly invisible, almost unstoppable. The box jellyfish is one of the most deceptive predators in the ocean because it doesn't look like a predator at all. There's no jaws, no teeth, no crushing strength, no visible aggression. Instead, it drifts, almost like part of the water itself. Carried by currents so gently that swimmers often have no idea it's nearby. And that invisibility is exactly what makes it so dangerous. Unlike most animals on this list, the box jellyfish doesn't rely on pursuit, strength, or coordination. It relies on contact that you don't notice until it's already happened. Its body is nearly transparent, blending into the water so effectively that even in clear tropical seas, it can be extremely difficult to see. The danger is not what you see, it's what you don't. The box jellyfish is equipped with thousands of microscopic stinging cells called nematocysts. These are stored along its tentacles, which can stretch out and drift behind it like nearly invisible threads. Each of these stinging cells acts like a tiny biological harpoon, triggered by touch or pressure. When activated, they fire in milliseconds, injecting venom into the skin. Unlike many venomous creatures that bite or sting once, a box jellyfish can deliver thousands of stings in a single encounter. A swimmer may accidentally brush against tentacles without realizing it, triggering a cascade of stings across the body almost instantly. The venom itself is what makes this animal so deadly. It is a complex mix of toxins that can attack the heart, nervous system, and skin simultaneously. In severe cases, symptoms can escalate extremely quickly. Intense pain, difficulty breathing, muscle paralysis, and cardiovascular collapse. One of the most dangerous aspects is speed. In extreme envenomations, cardiac arrest can occur within minutes. That rapid progression is what places the box jellyfish among the most lethal marine animals on Earth. Even when fatalities are avoided, survivors often describe the experience as overwhelming and immediate, with pain so intense it can impair movement or swimming ability. And that's where secondary danger begins. Because once a swimmer is incapacitated in water, the situation can escalate further due to drowning risk, panic, or inability to reach shore. The estimated approximately 20 to 40 deaths per year attributed to box jellyfish. Stings occur primarily in regions such as northern Australia and parts of Southeast Asia, where human swimming activity overlaps with their natural habitat. Seven, leopard. Approximately 50 deaths per year. Silent, unseen, and brutally efficient. The leopard is one of the most adaptable predators on Earth, and that adaptability is exactly what makes it dangerous. Unlike lions that rely on groups or cheetahs that depend on speed in open ground, leopards operate alone, in silence, and in almost any terrain they can move through. They don't announce themselves. They don't need to. A leopard is built for stealth above all else. Its spotted coat isn't just beautiful. It's camouflage. In forests, savannas, rocky hills, and even semi-urban edges of human settlements, That pattern breaks up its outline and makes it extremely difficult to detect until it is already very close. And very close is often too late. Leopards are ambush predators, meaning they rely on positioning rather than pursuit. They move quietly through cover, using terrain, shadows, and patience to approach prey without being noticed. Their movement is controlled and economical. No wasted energy, no unnecessary noise. Then in a single explosive moment, everything changes. A leopard's attack is short, fast, and decisive. It typically involves a powerful leap combined with a precise bite. Often targeting the neck or throat to quickly subdue prey. Unlike some predators that may struggle or wrestle for extended periods, leopards aim to minimize confrontation time. But what sets them apart from many other big cats is what happens after the kill. Leopards are famously strong for their size. Pound for pound, they are among the most powerful climbers in the animal kingdom. After taking down prey, they often drag it into trees, sometimes lifting carcasses heavier than themselves into branches several meters above the ground. This behavior serves two purposes: avoiding scavengers like hyenas and securing food for later. It also highlights a key aspect of their survival strategy: control over the environment. That control extends into how they interact with humans. The estimated approximately 50 deaths per year attributed to leopards is relatively low compared to animals like mosquitoes or snakes. But it is significant given how rarely humans enter their core hunting behavior intentionally. Most leopard attacks occur in regions of Africa and parts of Asia, where human settlements overlap with leopard habitat. In many of these cases, the cause is environmental pressure. When natural prey such as antelope, deer, or smaller mammals become scarce due to habitat loss or human activity, leopards may move closer to villages. Livestock becomes an easier target, and in rare situations, humans may be perceived as vulnerable prey. This does not mean leopards actively seek out humans in the way people sometimes imagine. It means their flexibility allows them to survive in changing environments, even ones heavily influenced by human expansion. That flexibility is a double-edged sword, because it makes them incredibly successful predators across a wide range of conditions, but also increases the chance of unpredictable encounters. Unlike lions, which are often heard or seen in groups, or crocodiles that are tied to water edges, leopards can appear almost anywhere. Dense brush, farmland edges, forest paths, and even areas close to human dwellings can become part of their movement range. And when they are present, they are rarely noticed. Leopards are also primarily nocturnal or crepuscular, meaning they are most active at night or during dawn and dusk. These are times when human visibility is reduced and awareness is lower, further increasing the risk of surprise encounters. In low light, a leopard becomes almost invisible until it is extremely close. That is the core danger: proximity without awareness. Most predators give some form of signal before an encounter escalates. Footsteps, vocalizations, movement through vegetation. Leopards minimize these cues. Their paws are padded, their bodies low to the ground, and their movement deliberately quiet. You rarely hear it coming, and that's the problem. When attacks on humans do occur, they are often sudden and highly situational. A person walking alone at night, a child near the edge of a settlement, or someone moving through tall grass or forested areas without realizing a predator is nearby. Human population density and activity often push them away from conflict zones. But they are opportunists, and in nature, opportunity can sometimes override caution. What makes the leopard especially unpredictable is its versatility. It can hunt on the ground, in trees, across uneven terrain, and even in proximity to human environments. This adaptability means there is no single safe zone where encounters can be entirely ruled out in overlapping habitats. From an evolutionary standpoint, this is one of the leopard's greatest strengths. It allows survival in fragmented landscapes where other large predators struggle. While lions require larger territories and coordinated group structures, leopards can operate alone and persist in smaller, more varied environments. That independence is why they are so widespread. In the rare cases where human fatalities occur, it is usually not the result of prolonged conflict. It is the result of surprise, proximity, and a brief window where the leopard's instincts align with opportunity. One moment of misjudgment in a shared landscape, and then it's over. Six, polar bear. Approximately 5 to 10 deaths per year, rare but extreme. Low numbers, but when it happens, it's rarely a warning. The polar bear exists in one of the harshest environments on Earth, where survival depends on efficiency, endurance, and an almost complete lack of wasted energy. In the Arctic, food is scarce, temperatures are extreme, and opportunities are limited. That pressure has shaped the polar bear into something very different from most large predators, a specialist designed for power, patience, and long-distance hunting over ice. At first glance, the relatively low estimate of approximately 5 to 10 human deaths per year might make it seem less dangerous than others on this list. But that number is misleading without context. The danger of the polar bear isn't frequency, it's intensity. Encounters are rare because humans don't naturally overlap with polar bears very often. They live in remote Arctic regions across Canada, Greenland, Norway, Svalbard, and Russia. Most human settlements are small, isolated, and heavily prepared for wildlife risks. But when contact does occur, the outcome can escalate quickly. Unlike many predators that primarily attack when threatened or surprised, polar bears have been documented behaving differently under certain conditions, particularly hunger, environmental stress, or opportunity. In those rare cases, they may treat humans not as a threat, but as potential prey. That distinction is critical. A defensive attack is reactive. A predatory attack is intentional. The polar bear is one of the few large carnivores where both can occur, depending on circumstances. When food sources like seals are abundant, human encounters are usually avoided. But when conditions are difficult, especially in periods of ice loss or scarcity, behavior can shift. Polar bears are the largest land carnivores on Earth, with adult males often weighing over 400 to 600 kilograms, 900 to 1,300 pounds. That size alone gives them overwhelming physical dominance in close-range encounters. But what truly defines their danger is how that size is used. They are built for explosive bursts of power. A polar bear can move surprisingly fast over short distances, despite its bulk. More importantly, it has the strength to overpower large prey such as seals, which are fast, agile, and difficult to catch. This hunting ability translates directly into its potential threat to humans. When a polar bear engages, it doesn't rely on prolonged fights. It closes the distance quickly and uses its forelimbs, jaws, and body weight to control the situation immediately. There is no drawn-out hesitation. One of the most dangerous aspects of polar bear encounters is that they often occur in environments where escape options are extremely limited. Ice fields, open tundra, and coastal regions offer little cover. Unlike forests or urban environments, there are no barriers, no structures, and often no immediate help. Distance matters more than anything, and in the Arctic, distance can be deceptive. A bear that appears far away on flat ice can close that gap faster than a human can realistically respond. This is where perception fails. 5. Komodo dragon. Approximately 5 to 10 deaths per year, a patient killer. The Komodo dragon doesn't rely on speed, endurance, or dramatic chases. It operates on something far more unsettling: certainty over time. Where other predators overwhelm their prey in seconds, the Komodo dragon is built to ensure that once it decides to attack, the outcome is already set in motion, even if it takes hours or days to finish. At first glance, it doesn't look like the most efficient hunter. It's heavy, low to the ground, and not particularly fast over long distances. But that's exactly what makes it deceptive. It doesn't need to outrun anything. It just needs one moment. Komodo dragons are ambush predators. They wait near paths, water sources, or areas where prey is likely to pass. Their camouflage blends into dry grasslands and rocky terrain, making them difficult to spot until they move. And when they do, it's sudden. The initial attack is explosive. With powerful limbs and a strong, whipping tail for balance, the dragon lunges forward and delivers a deep, tearing bite. Its jaws are lined with serrated teeth, designed not just to puncture, but to rip. Flesh is torn open rather than cleanly bitten, creating severe wounds immediately. But the bite itself is only the beginning. For a long time, it was believed that bacteria in the dragon's mouth were responsible for killing prey over time. While bacteria may still play a role, research has shown that Komodo dragons also possess venom glands. This venom doesn't act like a snake's neurotoxin. Instead, it disrupts blood clotting, lowers blood pressure, and contributes to shock. In simple terms, it makes the body unable to stop bleeding effectively. So even if the prey escapes the initial attack, the damage continues internally. Blood loss, weakness, and systemic failure begin to set in. The prey slows down, it becomes disoriented. Eventually, it collapses, and the dragon follows. This is what makes the Komodo dragon so different from most predators. It doesn't need to win the fight immediately, it just needs to start a process that guarantees the end result. It hunts with inevitability. Using a highly developed sense of smell, Komodo dragons can detect carrion or injured prey from several kilometers away. They track patiently, sometimes for days until the moment comes to feed. It doesn't chase because it doesn't have to. It doesn't need repeated attempts. It doesn't rely on speed. It relies on a system where time does the work. And that's what makes it so unsettling. Because unlike predators that give you a clear moment of danger, a chase, a struggle, an immediate threat, the Komodo dragon changes the timeline. The danger doesn't end when the attack ends. That's when it begins. You can escape the jaws. You can run. You can create distance. But if the bite was deep enough, if the venom has entered, if the bleeding doesn't stop, the outcome may already be decided. That's why, even with relatively low numbers compared to other predators on this list, the Komodo dragon earns its place, not because it kills often, but when it does, it rarely needs a second chance. It doesn't rush, it doesn't panic, it doesn't fail often, it just waits, and eventually it collects. Four, black mamba. Approximately 20,000 deaths per year, snakes overall far higher. Fast, aggressive, deadly. The black mamba isn't just one of the most feared snakes in the world. It's one of the fastest, most efficient, and most lethal when things go wrong. Its reputation isn't built on myth alone. It's built on a combination of speed, precision, and venom that leaves very little margin for error. Unlike many snakes that rely almost entirely on ambush, the black mamba adds something extra. Mobility. It can move at speeds of up to 20 kilometers per hour, around 12 miles per hour over short distances. That might not sound extreme compared to large mammals, but for a snake, especially one that can strike in a fraction of a second, it's more than enough to close the distance quickly. This changes the dynamic of an encounter. With many snakes, the danger comes from accidentally stepping too close. With a black mamba, the danger can escalate even after the initial moment. It can raise a significant portion of its body off the ground, track movement, and strike multiple times in rapid succession. And those strikes are not warning taps. They are deliberate, venom-delivering bites. The venom of the black mamba is primarily neurotoxic, meaning it targets the nervous system. Once injected, it begins interfering with the signals between nerves and muscles. Early symptoms can include tingling, dizziness, and drooping eyelids, but these quickly progress. Without treatment, paralysis sets in. The muscles responsible for breathing eventually stop functioning, leading to respiratory failure. This is what makes the black mamba particularly dangerous. Not just the potency of its venom, but the speed at which it can take effect. And unlike some snakes that deliver a single bite and retreat, the black mamba may strike repeatedly if it feels cornered or threatened. Each bite increases the amount of venom delivered, compounding the severity of the situation. That's where its reputation for aggression comes from. Together, they account for tens of thousands of deaths each year. Far more than large predators like lions or crocodiles. And within that group, the black mamba stands out as one of the most feared examples of how quickly and decisively a venomous encounter can turn fatal. It doesn't rely on size, it doesn't rely on numbers. It relies on speed, precision, and a biological weapon that acts faster than most people can react. That's what makes it so dangerous. Because with the black mamba, the encounter is short, the strike is faster, and the consequences begin almost immediately. In the wild, survival often depends on strength or endurance, but in this case, it comes down to something much simpler. Whether you were close enough for just a second too long. Three, African lion. Approximately 200 to 250 deaths per year. Power with coordination. The African lion isn't just strong, it's strategic. It's one of the few apex predators on Earth that combines raw physical power with coordinated group hunting. And that combination makes it far more dangerous than most solitary hunters. A single lion is formidable. A pride is something else entirely. Lions live and hunt in social groups called prides, usually made up of related females, their cubs, and a smaller number of dominant males. While males defend territory, it's the lionesses that do most of the hunting. And they do it with precision, communication, and timing that rivals any predator on land. This is where their danger multiplies. Unlike solitary predators like leopards or tigers, lions don't rely on one perfect strike. By the time the attack begins, it's already too late. This coordinated hunting style allows lions to take down animals far larger than themselves. Buffalo, wildebeest, even young elephants. It also increases their success rate compared to many other predators, which often fail more hunts than they win, and occasionally humans become part of that equation. The estimated 200 to 250 deaths per year linked to lions occur mostly in rural regions of sub-Saharan Africa, where human populations live close to lion habitats. These are not random attacks in the wild. They're often the result of overlapping territories, limited prey, or environmental pressure. In some cases, lions begin to see humans not just as threats, but as viable prey. History has documented extreme examples of this behavior, such as the infamous Tsavo lions in Kenya, which reportedly killed dozens of railway workers in the late 19th century. While such cases are rare, they highlight a key point. Lions are capable of adapting their hunting behavior. 2. Saltwater crocodile. Approximately 1,000 deaths per year. Pure ambush. The saltwater crocodile isn't just one of the most dangerous predators on Earth. It's one of the most efficient killing machines evolution has ever produced. It doesn't rely on speed over distance or complex strategy. It relies on patience, positioning, and a single overwhelming moment of force. And when that moment comes, it's usually over before the victim fully understands what happened. Saltwater crocodiles are the largest living reptiles, capable of growing over 6 meters long and weighing more than a ton. But size alone isn't what makes them deadly. It's how they use it. They are masters of stillness. A crocodile can float in murky water with only its eyes and nostrils visible, blending almost perfectly into its surroundings. From a distance, it looks like a log. Up close, it still doesn't move. There's no warning signal, no visible tension building before the attack. Just silence. This is what makes them so dangerous to humans. Many attacks happen at the water's edge, when someone is washing, fishing, crossing a river, or simply standing too close. It's the moment of least awareness, when attention is relaxed and the environment feels familiar. That's exactly what the crocodile is waiting for. When it strikes, it does so with explosive speed. Despite their bulky appearance, saltwater crocodiles can launch their bodies out of the water with shocking force. The attack is not gradual. It's instantaneous. 1 second nothing, the next second impact. Then comes the bite. Saltwater crocodiles have one of the strongest bite forces ever measured in the animal kingdom, strong enough to crush bone with ease. Their jaws snap shut with immense pressure, clamping down on whatever they've targeted. And unlike many predators, crocodiles don't need to chew. They just need to hold. Once they have a grip, they drag their prey into the water. This is where the environment itself becomes part of the attack. Then comes the most infamous behavior, the death roll. The crocodile spins its body rapidly while holding on to its prey, using torque to disorient, tear flesh, and break limbs. This motion is violent and relentless. It's not just about killing. It's about ensuring the prey cannot escape. One, mosquito. Approximately 700,000 to 1 million deaths per year. The deadliest predator on Earth isn't massive, fast, or visibly terrifying. It's small enough to land on your skin without you noticing. The mosquito doesn't hunt with claws, fangs, or brute force. It doesn't chase, stalk, or ambush in the traditional sense. Instead, it operates in a way that makes it far more dangerous than any apex predator. It turns other organisms into weapons. When a mosquito bites, it's not just feeding. Female mosquitoes, the ones that bite, use blood as a protein source to develop eggs. During that process, they inject saliva into the bloodstream to prevent clotting. If that mosquito is carrying a pathogen, that saliva becomes the delivery system. That's where the real danger begins. Mosquitoes are vectors, carriers of some of the most deadly diseases in human history. Among them, malaria, caused by parasites transmitted through bites, is responsible for the majority of mosquito-related deaths each year. Dengue fever, a rapidly spreading viral disease that can lead to severe complications. Zika virus, linked to birth defects and neurological conditions. Yellow fever, a potentially fatal viral infection. Chikungunya, causing intense joint pain and long-term health issues. Each of these diseases has its own symptoms, spread patterns, and regions of impact. But they all share one thing in common. They rely on mosquitoes to move from host to host. What makes mosquitoes uniquely deadly isn't just the diseases they carry, it's how efficiently they spread them. Unlike predators that must hunt, chase, and overpower prey, mosquitoes operate with almost zero resistance. A bite takes seconds. It often goes unnoticed. There's no struggle, no warning, no immediate sign of danger. You don't feel hunted. You don't feel attacked. And yet the consequences can be life-threatening. Another reason mosquitoes are so dangerous is their sheer scale. There are over 3,000 known species of mosquitoes, and many thrive in proximity to humans. They breed in standing water. Anything from large swamps to tiny puddles, clogged gutters, or even water collected in a bottle cap. This means they can exist almost anywhere. The most dangerous predators aren't always the ones you see coming. Sometimes they're beneath the water, sometimes they're hidden in the grass, and sometimes they're small enough to land on your skin without you noticing. That's what makes them truly terrifying. If you want more content like this, deeper, sharper, and based on real-world impact, subscribe to Nature Speaks and don't forget to like, comment, and share.